So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. And now, for the review of the day. Got a great comment here from Erin Ford, a realtor at Windermere in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She says, Pat, this is truly a valuable toolbox. And she's talking about the Agent Success Toolbox. Thank you for your generosity in sharing this. I've been following your podcast for about a year now. I'm a massive fan. Thank you, Erin. Well, thank you, Erin. I appreciate the review. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast. So give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. Okay, congratulations to the following graduates of Rebus University. From the online review certification course, I have Chrissy Romano from Live Love Atlanta. Congratulations, Chrissy. For the 100 days to building an ISA team, I have Jackie Minikoff from Keller Williams Billingham team. The 5 Alive course, we have a graduate, Megan Parnell from Redux Realty. Congratulations, Megan. The Certified Real Estate Mogul. Yes, the Certified Real Estate Mogul. This is the first person to complete the entire Certified Real Estate Mogul course. All 5 pillars of the course, going from buying and flipping single-family homes all the way up to syndicating apartment buildings and creating a private equity fund. All 5 pillars finished by Mr. Steve Callahan from Plum Tree Real Estate. Congratulations, Steve. Got a graduate for the price reduction course, the Certified Price Reduction course. Same agent, Steve Callahan. Man, he is busy. Congratulations, Steve, Plumtree Real Estate. Got a graduate of the Certified Listing Agent course, Mr. Matt Bohannon from House Match Real Estate. Thank you, Matt. Way to go with the Certified Listing Agent program. Learning how to close listings every single time you go on a listing appointment. Lots of graduates this week, so I congratulate all of you for your certifications at Rebus University. And guys, if you want any of these courses that I've mentioned, I'm going to give you a 50% off coupon right now. Just go to rebusuniversity.com, type in PH50 for 50% off the course of your choice. All right, Rockstar Nation, I got a great return guest. Been a while since I had this guy on, and he is full of value, and he's all about real estate. He's all about real estate sales, which we're going to dig into now, some lessons he's learned recently since his last show. And so anyways, it was just the way the universe has it. I was in Austin, Texas at a GoBundance event, and I was literally flying out the next morning. I was eating sushi with a couple of Go-Bros of mine, David Osborne, Mike McCarthy, Tim Rode. We're sitting around the table discussing business, and Chris Waters was sitting at the table next to me. And so he came up and we chatted. Been on the show a few times. He's back, and he is into some really good stuff. I said, dude, we need to get you back on the show ASAP. So here it is, not but like 2 weeks later, and as a man of action, he's back on. So, Chris, welcome back to Real Estate Rockstars. I appreciate you taking the time.
Pat, man, I'm so glad to be on. It's been super impressive to see what you guys have been building with Rebus and the knowledge you're sharing out to the real estate universe. And it's great to run into you, and great to hopefully are excited to add some value and hopefully share some nuggets with people that tune into your show.
Hey, boss, why don't you kind of give everybody a little rundown on yourself so they can get to know who you are? Who is Chris Waters?
So I started a real estate team back in 2010, and I really just operated out of ignorance and not knowing what I was doing, which was ended up being a big blessing in disguise. I had gotten my real estate license in 2006, joined a big brokerage. I sold 6 houses, and 4 months later, I got out. I was 21 years old, was not coachable, was not very humble, and got out of real estate after 4 months and closed about 6 deals. 4 years, 3 to 4 years later, I had invested in a bar and restaurant, and I lost every dollar to my name and then some. And I was sleeping on my girlfriend's couch at the time, who actually ended up marrying, which was probably the best thing that came out of that whole debacle of going broke. And had a very humbling experience. She was buying me 99-cent breakfast taquitos to eat. And, I guess I'm unemployable. I just couldn't see myself going back to work for a company. And so I just started, 2010, the market was horrible. There were tons of expires and withdrawals, and I just started crushing expires and withdrawals, and I was horrible at it in the beginning. I sucked at it. But I slowly got better. I got immersed in coaching, and that was a huge kind of key to help me kind of excel from a growth perspective. And then I also when I say I was kind of ignorant, because I had kept my real estate license active, I was able to become a broker in 2010, and I had only sold 6 houses. And so I was building up my listing inventory.
It's kind of a shame almost when you think about it. Like the state will say, all right, this dude is a broker now, and he's only sold 6 houses. You know what I mean? If you really think about that concept.
Yeah, man. I hopefully not too many consumers watch this, or it gets back to the Texas Real Estate Commission.
No, but there's no. Come to think of it, I thought in Maryland when I got my broker's license, I had to do a certain number of transactions or have a certain amount of years in the business. But maybe Texas is different.
So what's interesting in Texas is, I think the word got back to them that it was too easy, because about 2-3 years ago, now you have to have, 4 years of experience. You have to have a bunch of transactional experience. And there's over 900 classroom hours. And so it's got a lot harder. But I had very limited experience. And, I started recruiting out of the gate and building a team. Just out of necessity from the leads I was generating. And what's interesting is I think a big limiting belief for a lot of people is that you need credibility to recruit agents, and that's not the case. You need leads to recruit agents. And then the X factor is having a really big vision to get people excited about where you're going. And so, that's what I was doing in 2010. I was broke on my girlfriend's couch, and I was starting to build up listing inventory, and I back then Craigslist was really big, so I was generating a lot of leads through Craigslist on my Boomtown platform. I got Boomtown on a credit card, and just out of necessity and being dead broke, I was just, I was very coachable at that time in my life because I was also very humble. And so anyways, 3 years went by, and I grew the team really fast. We grew to over 300 transactions, just shy of 100 million in sales in 3 years, and I kind of put my head up in the air, or went up for a gasp of air, if you will, because I had my face to the grindstone for several years. And a lot of people said, you've done something really special, and you scaled the team model faster than most people they've ever met. So I had a lot of people start telling me that, and they said, you really have kind of a obligation to share your story, because there's a lot of people that could benefit from what you've learned.
So let's talk about what that means. You scaled the team model. Obviously you started at 0 or 6 houses, right? And then you open up your own brokerage. And then how many houses are you selling today?
So this year we'll close. Our goal is to hit 1,300 closings. We're on track for sure. So it'll be somewhere between 12 and 1,300 closings this year.
Okay, 12 and 30. So you're doing 100 closings a month. Get this, guys, 100 closings a month. Now, what do you consider yourself, Chris? A lot of people come on the show, they call it a teamerage, right? It's a team, but it's a brokerage. Is that what you guys are, or are you more of a traditional brokerage in that sense of the word?
Good question. So we are an independent brokerage, but when people say the word team, what that means to me is it's more of an organizational model around how you run the business. So we have inside sales agents, we have transaction coordinators, listing agents, and buyer agents. So we run a independent brokerage
Yeah,
like the team model,
that
right?
would be a teamerage. That's what a lot of people would call teamerage, right? It's run like a team, right? Not like a traditional brokerage where you just collect licenses and hope some rise to the top.
Exactly. Yep.
So you're organized. You provide leads to your
Yep.
agents.
Yep. So I
Okay.
mean, my average listing agent is selling 75 to 125 homes each per year.
Okay. How many listing agents do you have?
So we have a total of um, six. We have a total of
Six
six
listing agents.
listings.
What splits are they on?
So my listing agents make 10% of the gross commission or 15% of the gross commission, depending on what commission menu the seller signs up for.
Depending on the commission that they get, basically.
Yeah. So like we
Okay.
have a menu of commission options for sellers. And if they pick our premium listing, the listing agent gets 15%.
Got it. Oh, that's cool. So a premium listing, what is this? Just out of curiosity, what's this? I mean, this is going to be a great conversation. What's the seller get? I mean, it's
So,
public information. So what's the seller
yeah.
get for a premium listing if I want to list my house?
Yeah, so like we have three options: 6%, 7%, and 8%. The 8% option gets all the same benefits of the seven, except it includes our guaranteed sale program. Lots of people think guaranteed sale is gimmicky. I mean, the truth is we buy 3 to 4 homes a month, and so it's only gimmicky to the people that can't actually purchase a house. Truth is we actually buy several per month. But the premium listing, what it includes, for example, includes our Sellers Incentive Club, where we advertise a listing with a $10,000 agent bonus. So every 100 listings we sell, we give away a $10,000 bonus. I've given away over $250,000 since we started this. So that's one little thing we add. We also build a unique website for the seller, like 123mainstreet.com, and then we drive traffic to that website utilizing social media campaigns, Google AdWords. We also give them access to Updater. If you haven't heard of Updater, go check it out. It's an
What
amazing.
is it?
So Updater is a tool that was developed that integrates like the Postal Service, the DMV, all of your utility service providers. And so the seller has one portal to go in and change all of their stuff. And it saves about 6 hours of time for the traditional seller. So we include the $10,000 giveaway. We include Updater. We also we offer we have this thing called Seller Shield. And so what Seller Shield is, it's a $10,000 insurance policy against future litigation. So the thing a lot of consumers don't know is, as brokers, we have E&O insurance. So if we get sued, we're covered, but the seller isn't. So we also offer this thing called Seller Shield. It's up to $10,000 in prepaid legal insurance, in that 7%. And then we also offer a home staging consultant. We have a professional staging consultant we pay out of pocket up front to go meet the seller and show them how to stage the house like a model home. If the house is vacant, we offer Box Brownie, which is a virtual staging service. It's a really cool service. So, I mean, those are some of our big hit items. There's more to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, bottom line is, if they get a 7 or 8%, they get 15%. If they get a traditional 6%, they get 10%.
Yep.
And you got 6 of these guys running around. And then your percentage of buyer agent versus like buyer deals versus seller deals is what?
So we have a total of about 30, a little over 30 buyers agents. So it's like a 1-to-5 ratio, like one.
Wow, that's fascinating.
For 5 buyers agents.
Who makes more money? Buyers agents or listing agents?
Believe it or not, my listing agents make more money, and my buyer agents are on higher splits. But my listing agents are highly leveraged. My listing agents wake up, they look at their calendar, and they've got appointments to go on. They turn in the listing agreements to our marketing team and transaction management team, and then their only job is to make the weekly success calls, and then they're also responsible for calling the sellers when an offer comes in.
Okay, and then how do you get the listing appointments to keep them busy?
So my inside sales agents in Austin, for example, my one ISA, he's booking 75 to 100 appointments per month.
And he's calling who?
So he's working only inbound leads coming in through radio, TV, billboards, direct mail, our database, etc.
Let me slow it down. Radio, TV, direct mail,
yep,
database. So basically, you're spending money to buy listing leads.
Yep.
In a plethora of ways, right? Mm-hmm. So within the said plethora, right? Mm-hmm. Which one works best?
The interesting thing is, like, if anybody's listening to this call, you've got to be really careful when you do like some of these very expensive lead levers like radio, TV, billboard, direct mail, because you got to take into account the cash conversion cycle. So you have to put out a lot of money before you even get to break even. And then, when you get a new listing, you have all these expenses. So you've got to be ready to light a match to a lot of, you got to be ready to light a match to a bunch of cash. So like what I recommend most people doing in the early stage of building a team is go after the low hanging fruit, expireds, withdrawals, FSBOs, like distressed sellers, those type of leads that are very inexpensive. Yep. You'll hone in your skills. Your cost per client is significantly less, and it'll make you a better skilled salesperson, and it'll help you build revenue momentum so that, it's easier.
So basically, so you're saying you don't know, right? There's the bottom line is you have this soup, and you don't know whether the carrots or the peas or the potatoes do the best. All you know is that at the end of the day, you're doing a lot of business, and you can't think like that. You can think like that when you're small, and you can go expireds and FSBOs, and you can know exactly what's working best for listing leads. But when you get to a point of how you are, you just got to kind of do everything and see what funnels, see how the profit loss looks at the end of the month. Is that what you're saying?
No, not exactly. I mean, when we started, when you start, for example, so we first started crushing expireds, withdrawals, FSBOs, home valuation leads, and we still do those things. And then we added one radio station, and we would test to see if it worked. And it usually took, 6 to 12 months to see if it worked. And we would always ask the consumer when they called in, how'd you hear about us? Or what's your favorite morning talk show that you like listening to, or whatever. And we assign a lead source to it to calculate ROI. And so, we definitely know which lead sources are working. The thing, Pat, that I think is really, I want to be really careful of is, I think if there's one thing I feel like I have a moral obligation to the general public or general real estate industry about is like, it's so important to do the right things in the right order. So like doing radio, TV, billboards, like it sounds awesome, and you probably hear a lot about a lot of big teams doing it. But if you're not doing north of about 150 closings, you shouldn't even think about it. Like your team's not well enough developed, and you're still in the early stage of growth. So that's why I'm being a little careful answering your question, because yes, I can tell you in terms of mass media, the best lead gen source is radio, and then what builds on top of radio is TV. TV would be number 2, and then number 3 would be billboard.
Brokers and team leaders, are you tired of seeing dwindling numbers at your monthly sales meetings? And I don't mean numbers as far as sales, I mean numbers as far as agents attending. Do you struggle with creating new and exciting content that will not only motivate your agents, but deliver actual results to them? Do you want your agents using proven sales techniques that increase their commissions? We've got the answer for you. Rebus University is launching a Lunch and Learn series you can purchase to provide structure and content to your meetings. The series has 12 30-minute trainings taught by me and top producers from around the world, and specifically is designed to increase production for your agents. Plus, when you purchase these trainings, you will also receive significant discounts for the go-getters on your team or in your office who want more training and bigger results. So don't delay. Go to hibandigital.com/teams. That's hibandigital.com/teams, or call Catherine Brower today at 843-749-9900. That's 843-749-9900. 9900 and get started with your Rebus University Lunch and Learn. And I would think TV would be terrible because the last time I watched live TV, I fell off my pet dinosaur. So does it really work? I mean, I understand people still listen to radio, but no, I can't, you know what I mean? Live TV is dead as Elvis. How do you, does it really work? Yeah.
So TV is surprisingly effective. There's honestly in real estate, like everybody gets excited about new lead generation, shiny objects, and every single lead gen strategy has a unique formula. So with TV, it's really about doing a great job negotiating the best possible buy. And it's a hybrid between making sure you get spots that air during the news when most people watch. So like news segments are when people don't typically DVR. So you've got to crush the news, and then you also need high frequency during the day. And then you've got to get your costs dialed in so that your client acquisition cost per deal is going to come way down. So TV is really good. It's just it's so much about drilling into your cost and making sure you get a good rate for those news segments and for the off-hour segments during the day. It's about frequency and reach, and man, there's a freaking formula to it. Another interesting little nuance about TV is there's the Fox, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and in every market it's different. And I've tested like the number 1 station and the number 5 station, and with the top stations, like the number 1 station, for example, to get favorable rates that you pay, like per spot to air, you have to spend in excess of a certain amount of money in order to have negotiating power.
So you're not even doing cable now. You're just doing local news.
Yep. So I tested cable. Cable was horrible. Cable sucked for us. We had all of our success with ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, and crushing the news, and then running spots during the day, and then most importantly, negotiating really.
You don't run spots during soap operas, do you?
We get, so part of the negotiation is like getting a bunch of free spots to run during the day, and
but news is where you cluster around the news.
Yep, being real intentional around the news.
So let's talk about this. So someone's driving down the road, they're like, I want to be like Chris. I want to open up my own brokerage. Mm-hmm. I want to, have a model that's a hybrid between employee and agent. We've seen that before, right? And it's usually extremely effective. Good for you. So it's 100 deals a month you're doing, right? What is your ECI? Now, we call this on the show ECI, ego commission income, because a lot of agents like to brag about it, but many times it's egotistical because it means nothing. But what is your ECI? Like, what's your total gross commissions off of these 100 deals a month, would you say? So let's say the last 12 months.
Yes. I mean, we'll finish the year at about $9 million in GCI.
$9 million. And what's your profit margin on that?
So we have our main team in Austin we started, and that team will do about 650 closings. We open an expansion team in San Antonio, one in Amarillo, and one in Killeen. And those teams, the Killeen one's like 5 months old. Amarillo team is 3 years old. San Antonio is 2 years old. The reason I think it's important for people to understand this is as your team gets bigger, your profitability is going to go down, but your business will get bigger. And you would probably rather have, for example, 3%. Like Walmart makes 3% net profit, and I would love to have 3% of Walmart's gross revenue versus 50% of a mom and pop local hardware.
Absolutely. So Walmart makes 3% of gross profit, and I agree. No one expects like a brokerage. And brokerage, by the way, there's a lot of brokerages. We've had several on the show recently that are making like less than 2% just because that's the model. So let's not get team mixed up with teamerage. I think teamerage usually is going to end up in between brokerage and team as far as profit per transaction. But what is it? What would you say it is?
So if you've got so our team in Austin, which is much more mature, is operating at around 25% profitability. And then these newer teams, like they just don't have as much infrastructure in place and they're still smaller. So a lot of, some of my team leaders and whatnot, they're wearing multiple hats. And so they're much more much more profitable. So like the smaller teams are operating at a 35, 36, 37% profit margin, but then the bigger team, Austin, is at 25%. So it's just the natural progression as you go through these stages of growth as you're building a company using the team model. And you try to hire more key people to continue leveraging and growing the business.
Yeah, well, that's awesome to hear, dude. That's awesome to hear. And it's awesome to hear that they profit this early in the game, because a lot of people that open expansion offices, if you look at them in the beginning, 5 months old, there's no profit, right? There's zero profit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I brought on a team leader, and so he's actually a franchise. So I basically let him copy and paste everything from my business, and he just pays me a small royalty, and then I help coach him and all this stuff. And so he's only 5 months in, and last month he closed 21 transactions for just over 100,000 in gross commission dollars. So, I mean, he's 5 months in, and I mean, he's made more money this month than he made the entire year last year as an individual agent.
Crazy. And then what's the franchise fee?
So the franchise fee is depends on the size of your team. If you're a new team, it's only $15,000, and that basically covers your 2 weeks here in Austin. And it's like a very intensive workshop.
That's the initiation. So you pay $15,000 up front. What about the royalty?
The royalty starts at 10%, but goes down to 6%, which is kind of the standard in the industry, about a 6% royalty.
And then do they got to use your housing of like your ISA and all that and pay fees to utilize all that stuff?
Nope. So we try to actually help them build up their own ISA team, their own listing team. We tell them how to get leads, what lead sources to go after. But I think the biggest misconception about franchising is people think that you're buying into a franchise system for the brand. And in our system, like, you don't even have to use our branding. So like the branding is minimal. It's all about you, the Rainmaker. It's not about us. Like, go research the Chad Brady group or the Lori Horner group or the Desmond Graham team. And the branding is all about them. We're kind of like the guts to their system, to their team. And, we're helping them, grow significantly faster than they would have been able to do on their own, just from all the things we've learned. I mean, we've spent in excess of about $5 million in lead generation over the last 8 years, testing everything imaginable. So, same with like compensation. How do you pay buyers agents, listing agents? Like, what's the stages of growing your team? Honestly, the best thing I could encourage anybody to do, which I told you, Pat, I'd send you a free copy of, is our book. So the book I wrote was my journey of building a real estate team, and how I got down this path of like coaching and helping people was, man, it was really, I just felt a moral obligation, because like I had my face to the grindstone and kind of looked up, and some people in the industry told me we started doing something really special. And like, it's really I'm not really not the type of personality that likes to be the front man. And, I'm for anybody that knows me, I don't enjoy having to go do like public speaking, and, it's just not my thing, man. It's not something I enjoy. I love working hard. I love helping other people be successful. And, I had a pretty crappy, first year, because I was dead broke, sleeping on my girlfriend's couch. And so, very humbling. And so like, I just wanted to help empower other people that were young, because at 2010, I was like 25, 26 years old. And I felt like there was a lack of clarity from a career trajectory perspective. And I was a young, ambitious guy. And like, I just didn't understand the path of trajectory of success. And, everybody has their own opinion. And so like, that was really important to me, to want to give back to the real estate industry. I've worked with a lot of great coaches over the years, and I feel like one of the biggest shortcuts to success is finding somebody that's in the position you want to be in, and then going and modeling them. And so, I mean, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help other people that want to grow the team model, and I want to help them grow it, super, super fast.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
I
love it. I love how you say, franchising is not about brand, it's about speed.
Yep. You nailed it.
And I love that. So like, what are some things that real estate agents that you see, right? Obviously not in your teamerage or not in your franchise are doing today where the juice is not worth the squeeze, Chris, where they're spending time that they don't need to spend, and it's not making the money they should be making.
Yeah, so I'll tell you three. There's a couple things I'll share with you. Three of the biggest limiting beliefs people have. I'll share those with you.
Yeah, this is great, guys. You should write this down too. 3 of the biggest limiting beliefs of real estate agents today.
So one is that you need credibility and massive amount of experience to recruit and train agents. Like, people think you need to have sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals and been in business for forever, 10 plus years, to go and build a team. That's totally false. In the beginning, you can recruit to the leads, and as a new team leader, your mentorship and guidance is a tremendous value. Like, you're kind of financing the success of new agents on your team. So that is really a huge value proposition on top of leads you can offer. So number one is you don't have to have the credibility and massive experience to recruit agents. That's the biggest limiting belief I see, number one.
That's nice. I like it.
The second limiting belief I see is that people that want to build teams, they think they need to close a bunch of deals to have revenue in order to pay for lead generation. And that's totally false.
Okay, wait a minute. They think they need to have a bunch of deals closed in order to pay for lead generation. So they got to go out and do it themselves before they can start buying leads.
Well, so I know this may sound counterintuitive maybe, but agents think like literally they need to be closing a ton of deals to afford lead generation, and that's totally false. So we started something called our brand ambassador program, and we bring in over $50,000 per month from local business owners. And they're not just settlement service providers. They are also local business owners. And we host a monthly mastermind. And this is essentially our preferred vendor list of local businesses in our market that we recommend to our clients. And they all put money into a kitty, which we use to pay for our lead generation. So when I was sleeping on my girlfriend... Oh, that's
cool. I've seen that. We did that once, and I know we got the idea from Chad Goldwasser. You probably did too. He was the first one that started that, really, where you just get local businesses to give you money to recommend them and put them on a preferred list every month. And it's just a way to start, building money. And then I think what Chris is saying, you could use that to buy leads.
I don't know what Chad did, but what gave me the idea was, like, you see all these people on Instagram and social media platforms that are like pushing product because they have influence and they're getting paid for it, right? And so, like, as a real estate agent, I think NAR posted a study that says when a home sells, there's an excess of $80,000 that gets injected into the economy. And as agents, we are a huge lever to that. And people count on us referring, trusted vendors to help them for like home improvement and all things related to their house. And so, this brand ambassador thing is something I got from seeing in social media. But the thing that I added to it, which came from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, is the mastermind. And so we have a monthly mastermind with these local business owners where we talk about what's working in our business and, what we're doing to grow. And we also talk about what our biggest challenge is. And so I get everybody to chip into this kitty. And so like I told you about sleeping on my girlfriend's couch, I didn't have the money to pay for leads. So the way that I paid for the leads back in 2010 was through the brand ambassador program and getting local business owners to chip into our kitty. And in return, I would interview the business owners using viral marketing and send that to our database. I would put them on our listing packages, our listing guides, buyer guides, our website, etc. Have them come into our team meetings to talk about their business and what makes them unique. So that's what we were, doing to, position them in a favorable outcome because we trusted them to do a great job for our clients. So limiting belief number 2 is you need to be closing a lot of deals and you need to have a lot of revenue to pay for lead generation. That's limiting belief number 2. Because you don't. You can actually go get money from other local businesses to cover lead gen costs. So the third limiting belief is about how you hire real estate agents. So people building teams think that they should only hire 1 or 2 at a time, 1 or 2 real estate agents at a time to hire, and that's completely false. So like NAR posted a study about how 1 out of 5 agents makes it through their first year. And as a team leader, you may think that you can have more success making people successful. But in statistics, as your sample size grows, you get a truer sense of the true mean of who's going to be successful, right? And so if you're a team and you're recruiting only 1 or 2 people at a time, it's a limiting belief to think you're going to have success with bringing in only 1 or 2 agents per month, because it's highly likely that any of those agents will actually succeed because your conversion rate of success is going to be 1 in 5. So the statement I want to put in there around limiting belief is that, or the thing I like to say that you need to remind yourself of is essentially every real estate agent you hire, 99% of them will either quit or fail at some point in their time at your business. And you need to remind yourself that 99% of them will either quit or fail. And that 1% will be the leaders that actually help you build the organization. And so it's all about hiring in groups of a minimum of 5, and then having a vetting process and an extension of the interview process where you see them in actual like practical application. You see them day in and day out taking action. Like if you've ever dated a girl, like the first 30 days, everything like you see the best, everybody presents them their best selves, but between days 30 and 90 is when people's, you really see who's committed and who's going to commit to building a habit of prospecting, lead generation, working their database, their, nurturing their pipeline, etc. They say it takes 66 days to build a habit. So it's super important that the first 90 days is a vetting process. And when you bring people in, you figure out who are the ones committed, and you don't find that out till between days 30 and day 90. And so you've got to be really disciplined about making sure you bring on people that are exhibiting the right behaviors and taking the right actions when they join your team. Because you're in the team model, you're trying to build a team of Navy SEALs.
Right. Yeah, you want them good. And I love that 1% rule there. Well, listen, Chris, why don't we finish this up with your free gift? As you know, everyone that comes on the show brings a free gift. What did you bring to Rockstar Nation today?
So I'm going to share a PDF, and it's an organizational chart that'll show you how to build a mega team that closes in excess of $100 million per year in gross sales and is doing hundreds and hundreds of transactions. And this will help you kind of understand what you need to kind of reverse engineer as you're building your team.
That's awesome, dude. I appreciate it. All that will be on the show notes, which will be on hibandigital.com/Chris Waters, and it's CHRIS, right? Yep. WATTERS number, and I don't know if this is the second or third time you've been on here. I'm going to put number 3.
Yeah, I think this is number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Waters 3. hibandigital.com/Chris Waters 3. It'll also be in the Agent Success Toolbox, which can be found at hibandigital.com/toolbox, or texting the word toolbox to 444999. Chris, we cut this too short because me and you were BSing for a long time before the show started. So I know I'm going to get a lot of complaints from people saying, man, I wish you had had Chris on longer. I'm going to reach out to you, bro. We're going to get in. We're going to schedule a 90-minute one because we could go all day. You got such good content. I really appreciate you coming back on, Chris, and we'll definitely catch up in the very near future.
Cool, Pat. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hyben. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.